That's right, Alec. We
Yes.
are watching Survivor Panama, and we're back.
Ruth Marie.
Ruth Marie was voted out last time. An iconic exit for an iconic queen of the game. All right.
Okay.
Um,
You keep telling yourself that.
basically, it was Austin tried to hype it up to be like, "Oh man, this is a big
Yeah,
decision
he
we're
really
making
did.
here," but they're just deciding which of the two women to vote out. All the men, we love that, but you know, that's what it was. That's his reality he lives in.
Yeah, it
And
was a
then,
little.
meanwhile, Kasaya is like the chaos tribe with actual some wackiness going on over there. This one's just straightforward. The guys sticking together. We're gonna vote out a girl. Which one do we vote out? Dan didn't want to vote out Ruth Marie because he shook her hand. But the other guys were like, no, we didn't do that though. So on a technicality, we could just not acknowledge that, and they didn't. They voted out Ruth Marie. So be it. Very interesting.
Hmm.
Terry did find the hidden immunity idol last
Yeah,
time.
it was kind of strange because it made it seem like he got like way more. It felt like the clues he got were way more like this is where it is than like had previously
Well,
been given.
yeah, one time they like said it's not in this area, and then now it's not in this area, so it really pinpointed it's like in this middle area here.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, you go with those clues because you're bound to find it
Mm.
that way. They just wanted the thing to be found, right? It's like we
Yeah,
need to
I
get this
think
thing
it kind of
found.
feels. Yeah, he pretty much. Yeah.
They just have it out here the
Oh.
whole time. No one finds it. Poor Bruce never got to even look his last time out, though.
Yeah, because it was just like pouring the whole time. Poor Bruce.
Anyway, I guess we'll
Um,
see what happens. All right,
yeah,
this time around.
yeah. Well, some people got Sherman.
That's true.
That was something that happened last time.
That is true. Bobby took a
Um,
deuce.
he took a deuce right in
His
the.
biggest moment of the season so far.
Yeah, it was the biggest statement he made. He's just taking a crap.
All right.
So
And so, yeah, as always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction and come back afterwards for the discussion, okay?
okay. What did I
Whoa.
just watch at the end there? That was crazy.
Wild.
That
All
was
right.
crazy. That was one of the craziest tribals I think councils I've seen, uh, maybe ever. It was certainly the most disorganized I've
You
ever
never,
seen.
yeah, and you don't get that often in the pre-merge. I feel like
Yeah.
they're usually more rote, but there's like a lot going on, a lot of layers to it with this vote.
Hey, I'm glad because this is like this episode. I don't know if it quite gets Survivor Star episode, but it's very close
Hmm.
for me.
It
This
was a lot of
this
fun.
episode, really good challenges. A lot of drama, a lot of back and forth. But we get to focus on Kasaya a lot more,
Which is always good.
which is great because they are the Chaos crew, and it did not disappoint. We had multiple people laying into Courtney this episode, whether in
Yeah,
confessionals or publicly.
it's like sometimes
Um,
I get it to some extent, but a lot of times it
yeah.
feels like really unwarranted. Like,
That's what I mean. It feels so like dogpiling for no reason almost.
yeah,
Um,
like Bruce didn't like she was in his Zen garden. Bobby says she is in the top two or three most annoying people in the world. Shane is always saying how she's crazy and this
he's
and
always
that.
angry at her.
It's it's a lot going
Um,
Courtney's way.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, in the end, Bobby gets voted out. Aris and Bobby voted for Bruce.
yeah.
Bruce voted for Courtney, and then Shane voted for Aris because he wanted his vote gone. He didn't want to have any effect on it, so he picked Aris, who he knew would have no votes. Um,
It's interesting that also that Bobby didn't vote. Bobby voted for Bruce.
for Bruce.
It's just a little
Yeah.
weird because he just had made a big bond with him, or
Mm-hmm.
supposedly had, but
Just survival
apparently
mode. He
not.
knew those were the options.
Yeah,
Bruce wasn't willing to do it though. Just voted Courtney. So like that could have cost Bruce if like
yeah,
Shane had voted for him, And then if
Mm.
Bruce voted Courtney, that could have cost him, like, because then it would go
Mm.
to a tie. Whereas if he just voted for Bobby, Bobby would have voted outright.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, a 3 to 2 to 1 to 1. It's just like never usually see more than three names. Seeing more than sometimes even saying three names can be a
three
little
is pretty
strange, but
rare, yeah.
like four names is like I can't even remember the last time we saw four names down. It's usually like first vote is
Yeah,
like the most often time that you'd see it, and even then it's not very frequent. So
that's
yeah,
true. All right, I mean, what an episode for Bobby. We got a lot of Bobby
yeah,
this episode, and it was really
we
just because
did.
his demise was coming.
Yeah,
I guess he wrote his death warrant by taking that wine into the into the Charmin outhouse with Bruce.
and then not being that apologetic about it. He said he was sorry to everyone else, but he wasn't sorry to Courtney.
Yeah, specifically you? No, I'm fine with that. But everybody else, I'm sorry to deprive them of that.
Yeah, but no, I'm okay that you didn't get any. He like reiterated it too. He's like, yeah, he like clarified. He's like,
But
it's.
like you said, there's something really respectable about it. He's so matter of fact, just
I
not
know.
beat around
That's
the
like
bush about
not at
anything.
all. He's just he's just so upfront about it. It's like, no, I don't like you, and
He's like very clear. I am not apologizing for the action, but how it may have made you
made
feel.
people feel. Yeah,
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 I apologize for that part. But I
yeah,
still don't. I still stand by. I don't see it as wrong that I took the
yeah,
wine.
yeah,
Uh, and he said it was because their spots in the shelter were taken. Him and
yeah,
Bruce both seem to think this, but then
yeah.
he kind of backpedaled a little bit. He was like, "Oh well, I thought it seemed like it
Yeah,
was
he's like,
taken."
I thought they were. Maybe they weren't. I don't know, but it
Well,
seemed that way. So.
did you really check closely, or you're like, I'll just take the wine. I don't look doesn't look like I got a spot over there. But what a fun
uh,
episode. I mean, it's so different. Just the fact that Lamina broke their losing streak here, and
yeah.
so otherwise probably have a pretty unspectacular tribal council on their
E-
hands with them.
even they had some bits of entertainment with apparently them doing something. It could even just be of consuming as many beans as they did. May
Yeah,
have undercooked it, may have underprepared it or something because like a lot of them got apparently very violently ill
and seemingly
that
hundred
night.
percent. If Cherry was there, they would have been fine. It seems like as soon as he leaves, it's just like he's
Just
even
like
saying
absolute
it
chaos.
on Exile. He's like, I hope they are staying hydrated and eating properly.
And eating properly, and it's like they gorged on the beans and didn't feel
Mm,
well. And I mean, I was shocked that they took the beans personally. Like
right.
to me, you pick a starch, you pick a something carb heavy,
Hmm.
you pick rice.
Yeah.
I feel like that's just like you got to pick the rice, and then they pick beans, and it's like I mean beans are really healthy. Like don't get me wrong, they're good for you, but like on an empty stomach, you need the carbohydrates when you're dying for food and water.
Yeah.
Um,
And if you're not gonna get sick on rice,
yeah,
you're just not. So yeah, that's Winegate for you, by the way. Bobby and Bruce, we'll
it
just
is.
call it Winegate.
It is Winegate, basically. Yeah, every season seems to need to have one, and
Some
definitely has it this time.
roundabout way, it's kind of a bean gate.
Yeah, it is. There's a bean gate of a sort here. Yes.
Yeah. But that was Kasaya won that reward challenge in the beginning, which was a lot of stuff. You got the fish, the beans, and the rice, and
Mm,
they got a lot of big fish from that. And that was the difference between Bruce chopping the fish and then when Bobby stepped in and chopped the fish. It was night and day. And
yeah,
that made the whole difference. But then when they come back, it's a whole swamp in their camp. They got no fire, wet wood, can't even cook the fish, so they're just eating it raw.
yeah. So I just had Bruce prepped sashimi with the machete.
Yeah, Lamino wins immunity, and from there, it's Shane basically immediately says, "All right, it's Bobby. No more discussion needed. Bobby's going. We're writing that down." And then Aris decides
Aris
that
is
maybe
like,
there should be discussion. I want
yeah,
Bruce gone.
Yeah,
because
Bobby's way too integral in challenges. He's really
yeah.
useful in challenges, and
But then
we need to stay
Danielle's
strong.
like, oh, and some of the girls were saying, oh, RS is setting himself up here for when the young guys come back together in the merge. You won't be able to stop him. So
Yeah.
we got to get Bobby out. And she was kind of rallying for Bruce too.
Mm.
She even said in that tribal council, like, he's an older guy, he's a wiser guy. You just feel like he doesn't get respect sometimes.
Because
Aris and
Aris,
Bruce, yeah.
yeah, Aris is just like going off on him this time around. Like, I like some of it. I kind of get it because he might be being a little like stubborn or set in his ways and some of the stuff he's been doing. But, like he like flipped out at him about the fire, which I thought was like that was a little much there, man. Like,
Yeah, like because he was doing his Zen garden,
yeah,
which obviously did not make Bruce feel good about that. It's
that's not
like
useful. That's not
dismissing that.
helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like for him spiritually, it's important. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
was it hurting anyone really? Like, is
yeah.
it really overly affecting it?
Even if it didn't
Because
have
like,
any greater meaning, it could be something as simple as like a little game where like you can
yeah,
throw a ball around. That's helpful. That's just to like keep the morale up.
yeah,
Sometimes people need things like that. But ours seems very one note, like with the
we have to
Charmin
be,
thing is like, oh, we'll
yeah,
just use it for completely useful purposes. We'll put wood in there,
yeah.
and then
For
we'll
not for non for the use for it is not the use for the actual use for it.
yeah. And it's like, Bruce, we don't have time to be making rock gardens. We should only focus on the pure essentials at all times. We need wood, and
And
we
then
need fire. We need food.
Bruce is like, well, aren't you the fire guy? Like that was his thing. It was like, yeah, you're the guy. You're the fire guy. And it was
Hmm.
like, oh, okay. And Bruce got really mad at Courtney for doing yoga in his Zen garden.
It's
I mean, yeah, it's
disgusting.
it's well. Here's the thing. It's an Indian, right? It's like an Indian spiritual practice on a Japanese spiritual practice.
Mm,
So it's like you're combining cultures, and that's maybe that could have been a potential thing that he was taking offense to. I don't really know exactly, but
mm.
if
Also,
I had
he
to hazard a
specifically
guess, I
said
would say
that
that.
like that she's in his space, so like all the
Yeah.
space she could have picked.
Yeah, you got a whole beach and you pick my space.
And
Yeah.
he just has some not kind words about Courtney.
It's
Not
just,
not
yeah.
rubbing off well on people. Apparently,
No.
even in their own alliance, their dysfunctional alliance.
Yeah.
Shane and Courtney hate on each other all the time.
Yeah.
But that's fun. I like the bit about Sari because it kind of was understated so far. Where Sari was saying,
She's like,
they
I was supposed to be on the
yeah
chopping block next.
they basically said when Melinda got voted out, it was like, well, they were even like, I think Shane said, I don't even care which, because either way, the next one will go the next time. It's like, I don't
Yeah.
care what order.
Yeah.
And then she's done well at laying low. You can tell there's
Mm.
a difference with how they perceive Sari versus Bobby and Bruce, who are just like purely on the outside. Sari is somehow not in the fore, but seems very much in like the conversations,
Mm.
and she's in the loop on everything. So she's worked her way in well for sure. And yeah, also a weird thing was that Shane told Bobby to swear on his kid,
Yeah.
on his own kid.
Which is
Swear
like,
on my kid
yeah.
that you won't flop on us the merge.
Yeah, which is like, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Courtney
Sorry for
pointed
your
out, was like,
loss.
then Courtney, wasn't it Courtney? No, it was Danielle. Was like, of course he's gonna say that. He'll say anything to stay around.
Yeah.
And then Shane just like thought about that, and then that's when he started getting mad. And he's like, why are you yelling at me? He's like, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling in general, or I'm yelling.
Yeah. I think
He's
Bobby was even like, I don't want to swear on your kid, but okay. Yeah.
Loose
Like,
cannons on this tribe.
it's really not fair to put people in that position. I've seen it a couple of times where it's like they're like, swear on your kid, swear on this, swear on
Yeah,
that. But it's like, okay. I mean, I kind of like, whether I believe it or not, I kind of have to say it because otherwise it seems like I really am not with you then.
yeah,
But even if I'm with you, I kind of don't want to say it because I want to be locked in like that.
yeah. It's
It's an
it's a
uncomfortable spot to be put in, but
yeah. It's like it is a lot to take like outside of the game elements like that to you know. It's tough. It puts you in a bind.
and Sheen's
A
like, "Why
hard.
didn't you say anything before, Courtney? I just had him swear on my kid. I just swore on my kid about it."
Yeah. It's like
And so
was
basically,
he? How's he? Yeah, and like just none of that made any sense to me. Like, how does he swear on your kid? Oh, I swear on the life of your kid.
it's like Bobby doesn't have any kids, so it's like, oh, I guess you got to swear on mine. Then I mean,
Yeah,
you wouldn't swear on a kid, would you? And not believe it.
yeah. Well, it's not my kid. I mean,
No, my kid. Sorry for your loss, though.
sorry.
Sorry for your loss in advance.
Yeah.
But wait,
Well,
quite an eventful. Got a lot of good stuff in there. An
yeah.
eventful episode. The
It
fractures just
was.
keep fracturing. We had a
I
full-on
know.
disagreement here about who to vote out within the four.
Yeah.
The four were not united at all.
No.
We had two for Bobby, one for Bruce, and one for Aris, just to throw his vote away. Ultimately, I guess he just didn't want to break that swear on his kids, so just I'll vote
Mm.
for neither of them. So I don't have any
Yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
All right, who's your MVP for the episode?
MVP for the episode is Bobby.
Come on, yeah, give it to
You
him.
got to give it to him. I mean, he was heavily featured in the episode, and I mean, like, I mean,
Told
you
it
just
like
got
it
to give it.
was.
Yeah, he told it like it was, and it was just like you have to have a weird amount of respect for somebody that can just do that, even if it's like maybe you really shouldn't be saying stuff like that to people, but it's like that's a
And
that's a strategy, I guess.
and probably not the best move to go
Hmm.
take the wine
Yeah,
and isolate yourself and
I think that's ultimately what killed him there.
yeah. I don't know if it would have changed, like if he didn't do that, if it would have been Bruce instead. I don't know.
Maybe.
But it seemed like that wasn't the thing though. So maybe he
Hmm.
still would have gone because Danielle still was like, "Well, Aris is setting himself up here. We gotta."
Yeah. What video would you recommend the fine folks at home watch after this?
You should go watch the episode where James gets voted out on Palau. I don't
Ooh,
even remember what episode that was. I just want that episode.
it's a good one.
It's an old one. It's a
That is
pre-merge.
episode 6. Episode 6.
Okay, episode 6 of Palau. All right. But yeah, this is another one of those episodes where it's like Bobby was barely present. He had like such little screen time in early episodes, and in
Mm.
this one he's just a force. He's like
He's a force to be reckoned
he's a
with.
big part of this episode,
Mm.
and we love him. We love
I
him
love
for
him.
as long as he was there, but
Yeah.
it was just the story of his the rise and fall, the rise and fall of Bobby.
Yeah. But at
Uh,
least you get to enjoy some wine in an outhouse with Bruce.
and he did take a deuce in that outhouse
Yeah.
before anyone. The only recorded deuce as
The only,
well.
rec-
Maybe
only
the only deuce.
recorded deuce.
Maybe the only deuce ever to grace the Casa del Charmin,
Yeah. It might very well be.
which is now in ruin.
Well, parts of it are in ruin
I
apparently
guess the
because
sign just fell off.
the sign just fell off. Yeah. But
Right.
yeah, when they first came back to it, it looked like I thought it was like, oh, is the whole thing has been destroyed already? They just got it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. I'm excited to see where it goes from here.
Oh yeah. I mean, if the energy is as manic and insane as it was there, I mean, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
So
It's night and day, the two tribes, though. What's going on here? They put
yeah,
all the like normal, ordinary people on one tribe.
they're like, oh yes, let's get the older women out first.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Very
alright.
logical.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell, and click the links in the description for our social media. All right.
All right.